What country do they think this is, anyway? This is America. Of course the government, that is civil society, is involved in everyone's lives. America is about democracy, isn't it? I thought that's what all of our wars were supposed to be about. And I distinctly remember people in school telling me that America is a democracy. I've always viewed this as the most important and valuable aspect of being an American. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all humans are equal, and by virtue of being human, that all people are endowed with certain unalienable rights and obligations, among these the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. If you don't believe this, you're not really an American. Some people these days think that being an American means being free to do as you like, with no constraint from the government. Free trade, free markets, and all that trash. But democracy means power in society is wielded by all, democratically, which is to say that the majority rules. If the majority is concerned with maintaining clean air, then by God everyone has an obligation to respect that. If you want to live free from the constraints of civil society, then America is not for you. Democracy demands involvement, compromise, and participation. It works best if everyone is involved, but somehow that rarely happens. In the real world, the wealthy use their power to subvert democracy, to keep the majority from having power and running our society in ways which serve the interests of the majority, us, working people. Capitalists hate democracy. It's antithetical to their purposes. Democracy means sharing power. Capitalism means private decision-making and power invested in the hands of the wealthy few. Isn't this what's at issue with the Republican-dominated Congress? They want to undo all laws which give even a limited say to the people. However, we do have the mechanisms for democracy at hand. It took a while to work it out. At first, the only people who could vote were the ruling class, white male landowners. But we've won universal suffrage now. We all have the right to vote, to participate, to have a say in how power is wielded. If we want business owners to all wear pink tights and walk backwards, then that is our right. How dare they complain about minor inconveniences like pollution controls, unions, workers' compensation laws, and taxes? Where do they get off questioning our right to determine what happens in our society? It's un-American, undemocratic to question the majority's right to regulate business as we see fit. The government of the people, by the people, and for the people shall not perish from this earth. If only it was that easy. Things are getting kind of scary out there these days. The rich have so discouraged participation that most people don't even vote anymore. We have a Republican presidential candidate who's decided that it's a good strategy to base his policies on outright rejection of science and logic. Buchanan has said that if parents don't want their children to learn science, like evolution, they shouldn't have to. Okay, but not in America. It's in our interest, the majority's interest, that all children are educated, become intelligent, inquisitive people, capable of participating in a democracy. It's a demanding task. If you want to raise your children to be ignorant and backward, that's fine. Just don't think you have a right to do it in America. Democracy demands more of us. Democracy is a participatory sport. Even if you don't like the outcome, that bit about certain unalienable rights demands that everyone respect the will of the majority, and the majority respect the humanity of all the minorities. Democrats, in the largest sense of the word, face a daunting task these days. Outright fascists like Buchanan actually have a chance of winning power. You can bet they're not going to support the democratic wielding of power by the majority. No, people like Buchanan are likely to support forced ignorance, a powerful military and police dictatorship, and the continuation of all power in our society being vested in the wealthy few. If we want better for ourselves and our children, then we're going to have to take up the challenge. We have to get everyone involved. Politics seems irrelevant to most people because we allow the rich to run the country. As Gandhi said, a tiny minority cannot continue to run the country if the overwhelming majority refuse to go along with it. In India, at the time, Indians couldn't vote. We all can, so we have no excuses. The government the ruling class foists on us is our own fault if we let them do it to us. If you don't like your political options, fine, find a candidate you can support, or just run for office yourself. It's time to get with the program. There are more of us than there are of them anyway. As long as votes count, the majority has the power. We have to use it or lose it.